What if the most confusing, chaotic, and painful relationship of your life wasn't a mistake, but a message? A profound message from the deepest part of you, your soul, trying desperately to get your attention. If you're here, you're likely healing from a connection that felt like destiny, but ended in crushing, inexplicable pain. This is for you today. We're not just talking about red flags. We're decoding the spiritual warning signs of a false twin flame connection. These signs aren't just there to hurt you. They are a divine guidance system, pointing you back to the life and love you were truly meant for. Before we go deep, it's important to understand that the concept of a false twin flame comes from modern spiritual communities. It's not a term recognized by mainstream psychology, but for many, it's an incredibly helpful and validating framework for understanding these intense, life-altering relationships. It's also crucial to state that this framework should never, ever be used to justify staying in a relationship that is unhealthy or abusive. The ultimate goal is always your safety, your sovereignty, and your empowerment. So, if a relationship has left you feeling broken, fragmented, and questioning everything you thought you knew about love, let's explore what your soul was so desperately trying to tell you. To understand why such a painful connection would enter your life, we must look at it from a soul's perspective, and no one has explored this more deeply than the pioneering hypnotherapist Dolores. Through thousands of past life regression sessions, Cannon discovered that we don't just randomly bump into the most significant people in our lives. Instead, we make agreements with them before we're even born. These are called soul contracts. According to Cannon's work, before we incarnate on Earth, our souls exist in a state of unconditional love and wisdom. From this higher perspective, we meticulously plan our lives. We choose our challenges, our most important lessons, and the very souls who will help us learn them. And sometimes, a soul from our soul group, a soul we've known and trusted for lifetimes, agrees to play an exceptionally difficult role for us. They agree to be a catalyst. This person isn't meant to be your lifelong partner. Their job is to show up and create just enough emotional and spiritual turbulence to shake you awake. In her sessions, clients would often discover that the person who caused them the most profound pain was, in fact, a loving soul partner who volunteered to play the villain to teach them invaluable lessons of strength, boundaries, or radical self-love. From our human perspective, this can sound impossibly cruel. Why would a loving soul agree to cause such heartbreak? But from the soul's perspective, it's an act of profound, selfless love. This false twin flame agrees to be the trigger, the one who pushes all your buttons and brings your deepest, most hidden wounds to the surface. They do this not to break you, but to force you to heal. They're the earthquake that demolishes a faulty foundation so that you can finally build something real, stable, and unshakable in its place. The pain isn't the point. It's the signal that the lesson is beginning. The warning signs are not just red flags about them. They are loving alerts from your own soul telling you it's time to pay attention. The first and most common warning sign your soul sends is a feeling of constant, humming anxiety. The connection often begins with an almost supernatural intensity. You feel a shocking sense of recognition, a feeling of having known them forever, which, according to Dolores Cannon's work, could be an echo from a past life connection. But very quickly, that initial euphoria dissolves into a disorienting and exhausting emotional roller coaster. You're caught in a dizzying, hot and cold dynamic. Moments of incredible intimacy, future faking, and love bombing are suddenly followed by withdrawal, unexplained silence, or outright abandonment. This leaves you in a state of perpetual confusion and emotional whiplash, always trying to get back to that initial high. This is your soul showing you a major warning sign. Your peace has become entirely dependent on someone else's behavior, you may feel physically tired, mentally foggy, and emotionally exhausted, even when you're not with them. This is because the energetic connection is imbalanced. You're the one giving more energy, more love, and more forgiveness, creating energetic cords of attachment where your life force is being drained while they take without replenishing you. This dynamic is specifically designed by your soul to highlight an unhealed attachment wound within you, often an anxious attachment style. It perfectly mirrors your deepest fear, that you're not worthy of consistent, stable love. The anxiety is a spiritual alarm bell. Your soul is screaming, notice how you're abandoning yourself to keep them. Notice how you're outsourcing your sense of safety and worth. Notice how you're willing to accept crumbs when you deserve the whole feast. The pain of this roller coaster is meant to become so unbearable that you finally have no choice but to get off the ride. Tell me, what was the most painful part of this roller coaster for you? The silence, the inconsistency, the feeling of never being sure where you stood? Pause and share in the comments below. Your story can be a light for someone else in the dark. The next warning sign from your soul is the pervasive feeling of walking on eggshells. The love, affection, and attention you receive feel conditional. It feels like you have to constantly earn it, perform for it, and that one wrong move, one off day, could cause them to pull it all away, instead of feeling safe to be your messy, authentic human self. You feel chronically judged and insecure. This is where you start to lose yourself. It begins subtly. You might stop sharing your spiritual beliefs because they find them weird. You might change your style of dress or abandon hobbies you once loved to fit their ideal. You quiet your own needs, betray your own values, and shrink your personality just to keep them happy or to avoid conflict. Your conversations, which may have started out so deep and meaningful, become shallow and surface level because you're terrified to say the wrong thing. That deep, vulnerable intimacy you crave feels forever out of reach because the connection is not a safe space for it. This is a powerful and direct message from your soul. It's a mirror showing you every single place where you do not love and accept yourself unconditionally. If you're willing to silence yourself for love, your soul will send you someone who demands your silence. If you're willing to betray your own values to avoid being alone, your soul will send you someone whose actions force you to confront that self-betrayal head-on. This painful dynamic is a divine lesson in sovereignty. It's designed to make you so sick of contorting yourself into a pretzel that you're finally forced to stand up straight, reclaim your space, and remember who you are. Perhaps the most agonizing and confusing warning sign is the war between your heart's attachment and your intuition's wisdom. The intensity of the connection feels so real, so important, so fated your heart, or more accurately, your ego's attachment, tells you, this is it. This connection is special. Don't let this go. Just hold on a little longer. But at the same time, there's a persistent, quiet, and steady whisper from your intuition, from your soul, that gently says, this isn't right. This isn't what true love feels like. You need to leave. You try to ignore that voice. You rationalize their inconsistent behavior. You make excuses for their cruelty, and you focus only on the highlight reel of good moments to justify the pain. But the inner knowing, that pit in your stomach, never truly goes away. This internal battle is a form of self-gaslighting, where you start to doubt your own perception of reality, because the connection's intensity seems to contradict the pain it's causing. You lose trust in your own judgment and your ability to discern truth. Your soul allows this inner conflict to become deafening for a critical reason. It's teaching you the life-altering difference between the voice of your attachment and fear-based ego, and the voice of your soul's truth. The voice of attachment is loud, frantic, anxious, and fearful. It bargains and obsesses. The voice of your soul is quiet, calm, and steady, even if it's delivering a difficult message. The false twin flame experience is a masterclass in learning to trust that quiet voice, even when it's the hardest thing you'll ever have to do. The pain of ignoring your own intuition is designed to eventually become greater than the pain of leaving the relationship. When you finally choose to honor that whisper, you're choosing yourself, and your real healing journey finally begins. If you're ready to start honoring that inner voice, let's set an intention. If you're ready, type in the comments, "I choose to trust my inner guidance." Those warning signs, the emotional roller coaster of anxious attachment, the loss of self through conditional love, and the inner war with your intuition, are not punishments. They are sacred alerts from your own soul, orchestrated as part of a soul contract you agreed to long ago. This connection is designed to break you open, forcing you to learn the non-negotiable lessons of radical self-love, unbreakable boundaries, and unwavering trust in your own inner wisdom. The false twin flame arrives to show you every way in which you're not free, so that you can begin the journey of unshackling yourself. The experience prepares you for a love that doesn't drain you, but uplifts you. A love that doesn't ask you to shrink, but inspires you to expand. A love that mirrors back the wholeness you finally found within yourself. The end of this catalyst connection is not the end of the story. For many, it marks the beginning of a painful but necessary period of separation, which itself holds its own profound lessons. This separation is often the final stage of the catalyst's work, creating the space you need to integrate the lessons and truly heal. If you're in that space now and wondering what comes next, be sure to watch my next video, Twin Flame Separation, What Your Soul Wants You to Know. Thank you for being here today. If this resonated with you, please give it a like and subscribe for more on navigating your spiritual awakening. And remember, the most profound love story you'll ever live is the one you build with yourself. Trust the journey. You're on your way home.